Hi, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Kelsey. I love being here.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your business and how do you serve your customers?
My business is called Loopology, and it is the science of keeping customers in the loop. So any business has a customer that they serve, and a healthy business has customers that keep coming back. And so the ology is the science, so data-driven decisions to make sure that your customers are happy.
Awesome. Sounds wonderful. Can you give me some examples of businesses that you currently work with?
Yeah, so one of my clients is a painting company. It does high-end residential painting. And there's that from that standpoint, they're going into someone's home. Referrals are their best form of marketing. So we want to make sure that they're doing a fantastic job so that they get those referrals, because a referral is 35% more likely to actually close the deal and give them their business, right? So how we collect all that information is really important, and then what we do with it so that they, can really capitalize on what they're doing.
How do you collect that information then?
It's usually on online forms. So they have a couple different things. It's everything from a link on the bottom of their invoice that says, hey, give us their feedback, to a review on Yelp, Google. They do some post work calling as well. And I really love, the owner has a pretty high touch philosophy that he approaches with. If he's worked with a customer a couple times, he'll just randomly call and say, hey, I'm just calling to check in, not trying to sell you anything. So that personal piece that he really brings to the table as well makes a big difference. My professional experience was with pretty large national brands. And so my goal with this is to really bring that level of knowledge and expertise to a small business owner that doesn't have the resources to have a full-blown marketing agency or team themselves.
Yeah, I do find that having that relationship makes all the difference.
Yes. Yep.
What's a moment in your journey that changed everything? Like, what started you down this trajectory?
So when I was, I knew I was leaving my corporate position, and I had a little bit of a runway, and I took some time off in between, and it really was the gift of time to be able to sit back and think about what I love doing. For a long time, I had been tapped on the shoulder to just, hey, go figure this out, or we need help with this. And so I had the opportunity to learn a lot. I worked with really fantastic people. But I hadn't really inventoried or been very intentional with what I was doing over the course of my career. And so when I had the gift of time to truly sit back and think about, okay, what is it that I love doing? I did some strength finders. I talked to a coach. I did a couple different things to just do some self-discovery at this point in my life. And it really did come back to helping small business owners and using my expertise, which is putting the customer at the center of what they're doing to truly help them create sustainable growth. And, to me, the difference between sustainable growth versus just growth, sustainable growth is with you for the long term, right? It is something that you're putting building blocks on. Versus, a lot of times a company will say, hey, we had a great quarter, right? They had a spike, but then they can't sustain that spike because they've got some type of operation that doesn't allow them, that's falling short. So all those customers that they gained for that spike are never coming back again because they didn't serve them well. So it's really bringing together marketing that supports their business priorities, and then making sure that their business priorities are aligned with the growth that they want to attain.
Awesome. And how long have you been in this business now?
So Loopology is relatively new. We're just a few months old technically, but I've been in the consumer marketing space for about 25 years. I've worked with national brands like Supercuts, Fingerhut, Sesame Street Live. So I've had the opportunity to really work with large scale brands that people have heard of and want to interact with. and, what that emotional and experiential piece of those brands that make it come to life.
What's something that you wish more people understood?
Yeah, I think that from the standpoint of marketing is really changing right now, right? And I am one that I love ChatGPT. I love, it's somebody said, oh, AI is a tool and AI is something but AI is here to stay, and it's something that we all need to get comfortable with. And when I can sit down and plug something into ChatGPT, it's like my own little personal assistant there, right? That's just giving me all these fantastic ideas. It's the best brainstorming sessions I think I've ever had. But that said, there's also that experience from an expertise level that that AI is only good as the data that you put into it, right? And so if the AI platform doesn't have good data, you need somebody that can actually decipher what it is that they're looking at to make informed decisions from. And so it's marketing is evolving really fast right now, and it's an exciting time. And so I wish that there's a lot of folks that are just saying, "Oh, well, I don't really need to do that because I can just put it in AI and it's gonna do it for me." And I think that we are gonna come full circle here and see that you still need the human, but the AI is an amazing tool that can just make us work much more efficiently, and have that end result be that much more powerful.
That's a really good point. It has helped save me a lot of time.
Right? I know. Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yes. Do you have any weird habits, rituals, or superstitions that actually help you thrive in business?
So I am. Gosh, there's so many different ways I could go with that. Weird habits, superstitions. I am really, so I guess I don't know if it's weird. My core values are really transparency and positivity. So I'm really big on gratitude. I think that it's, and that's really what I'm basing as I'm developing Loopology and what I want to put out there. I want to be a trusted partner, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that, and work with my clients to help them succeed. And so I don't know if that's a weird habit necessarily, but it ties back to I started in my day every day with remembering what I'm grateful for.
Well, that's beautiful. Everyone should do that. Yeah. Anything else you would like us to know about you?
Oh, I really appreciate the time today, and, thank you for letting me share my story.
I have a question.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I thought I couldn't see the...
If your perfect person is watching right now, what will you tell her? What's one thing she needs to know that's critical for her business? Fire.
So my perfect client is a client that's actually is already established, has a really good sense of what their service is and how they work with their customers. And they're at that point where they're a little bit they're at a plateau, right? And so if their business has plateaued and they're ready to grow to the next level, that's the kind of that's the kind of client I'm looking for. Right? That I can really help them create that growth, that is one that they can have forever.
Yeah.
That was not a redo.
Tell us where you want to be in 5 years.
Oh, gosh. Okay. In 5 years, I will have built Loopology into a company that people in the Twin Cities have heard of. I will have hired a team, and we will have an established practice that folks will be knocking on our doors to help them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Any other ideas you have? Feel free to chime in here, guys. If you got some questions. So we've done this before, but we've still got time left. We'll just...
Okay, yeah.
Start firing.
Lob them at me.
Where's the where is AI going? You think, what's the trajectory of AI, and why businesses must include it in their strategy?
So I actually, I was at, there's so much to AI. I was at an event not too long ago, and the speaker that was there talked about the progression of just technology in general and through our culture and the impact that it's had. And they used when Henry Ford launched the Model T, that was a culture-changing event, right? Everyone was transported by horses at that point, right? Families needed a horse in order to go from the farm and get into town. Suddenly, there was this automobile that was relatively, it was priced at that lots of people could afford to get a car. And he did that very intentionally, right? Henry Ford was creating for the masses. People thought he was crazy, but he did it, and it changed the trajectory of our world, right? Because now we didn't need a living, breathing thing to get from point A to point B. We could just put fuel in, and it would get there. And faster, right? More reliable, all those things. So that was a very revolutionary point for our society, was the introduction and the invention of the automobile. Then you fast forward into the internet, right? And the web and mobile phones and that level of technology, right? Our world and our society changed again because all of a sudden we had access to information at our fingertips. You used to have to go to the library, right, to look through I'm probably a little older than you are, but when I was in college, we didn't have personal computers, right? We had to go to the computer lab and have a shared device because people couldn't afford to have their own computer. When we went to the library, we had to go through the little Rolodex, the paper cards to find the book off the shelf that we wanted. Then now we can just sit on our couch on our phone and get amazing information at our fingertips. So if you think about the difference between pre-internet and where we are today, AI is going to do that times 10, right? Because now it's not just Googling something to find out where to go to coffee. There's amazing information that's really relevant to exactly what you're asking for that is microseconds away. So So a company that's not figuring out how to use that, helping their teams be more efficient and really getting into how that applies to their business, they're going to be left behind. And, from that standpoint, customers really, and people in general, right? It's scary because it's unknown. But the people that can figure it out are going to be the ones that succeed. Mm-hmm.
I was happy dropping some nice microphone. So mic drops for reals right there. Those who are not paying attention are going to be left behind.
All right, okay.
Close on more.
Oh, okay.
If you don't have a question, I have a final question. You're going to love this.
Okay. Shoot away.
Hypothetically speaking, you did it and you are retiring. What's one thing you will leave to your predecessor? Is that the right word? The one who will take care of the business after you?
Yeah.
To do, not to drop the ball. Just one thing. If they don't do anything else but just this, don't forget to do this. Because this is the life support of the company. What is that thing?
So to me, my company is really based on transparency and trust. And you earn that trust by being really honest and upfront with how you work with people. And so the team that I build and the legacy that I leave and the people that pick up the torch when I'm ready to retire, that has to be the core of who they are too, because otherwise they're not sitting in the right spot. And that's not something that you can teach to people. You either are that way or you're not. And That's really the heart of what I'm building.
Hey, it's Will with the Podcast Crew team. Spotlight is a vidcast shot at the Podcast Crew Studios in Minneapolis. We would love for you to be our guest. Email us at the email address on your screen below to get a copy of the upcoming schedule. It's free, it's easy, and it's a great way to try out a podcast or a vidcast with our pro team. We do an in-person, in-studio version if you're in the Twin Cities area, and also an online version if you're somewhere else. We'd love to have you, hear your story, and help you start your podcast journey. Thanks. Get in touch today.